This is Two Left Fielders. I'm your host, Harry Cassell, joining you live from straight out of left field, Florida. I believe that's north of Orlando. With me, as always, my co-host, Big G, a.k.a. White Cheddar, a.k.a. Butter on the Butter Toast, host with the most, ghost that froze because he's so damn cold, G-Mart.
What's good with it, Harry? You doing all right this week, my man? I feel like we've been on and off in our executive producers, group text. So what's been up with you?
Yeah, I literally didn't hear from you until yesterday at the draft, and you just informed me that a quarterback was Jewish. So thank you for that.
Oh, Josh Rosen, it was fair to assume you guys might be kin. Fair?
Fair. Are you related to all non-Jews? Bam. How does that feel?
All right, I got you there. Well, we start this week with some troubling news out of the NFL. Last year, 2017 first round pick, 49ers selected Reuben Foster out of Bama. He was a stud at Bama, but he had some issues at the They're all studs. He had some issues with the draft combine last year. He got in an argument with the nurse, something along those lines. Well, they said the character issues won't be an issue. The Niners took him. Here he is out there in the Bay Area now. He was accused. He's being investigated for domestic violence. Apparently, he beat up his girlfriend. Now, there's been rumors that she made up those, remarks about my man Reuben. But I think it's safe to say with draft week, we're in the middle of the draft right now. I think with his questionable character,
you're about to get a phone call. That's for sure.
He's going to get a phone call. He runs a 4.4. He's got poor character. Let's check in and see what phone call he might be getting.
Dak, this is Jerry Jones, and you're a Dallas Cowboy.
You knew we were going to fit it in. We left it out last week. There were a lot of fans that were upset we left Jerry out. I thought it was only fitting we brought him in. That was a 2016 draft. That was just a couple short years ago. I got to admit, last night, Harry, watching the draft, with the first year without Boomer, Chris Berman, it was a little, I was a little emotional. I figured we could check in at ESPN and see what Berman's up to now.
Little 8% Cody never hurt anybody.
Oh, Berman! He's taking the dirge mid-show. That was always a staple of his tenure at ESPN, but I digress. I thought I'd give him a shout-out. I missed seeing him on the coverage last night. What about you?
Just something that just really interested me is I feel like every year right before the draft, like something happens. Like Josh Allen with the racist comments, like right before the draft. And if it like went to the Dolphins, it would be like too weird. You know how like the same thing happened last year with Larry Tunsil where a gas mask video was released.
Oh.
But first of all, being racist, you don't slip as far than smoking weed, which is a real problem in today's America. But Josh Allen, when he was 11, tweeted, "If it ain't white, it ain't right." And then it's reported on ESPN.com that he called Stephen A. Smith the morning of the draft at 2 o'clock in the morning to apologize for comments that he made, again, when he was like 12 years old. But I have so much wrong with this. First of all, you don't call people past 10. 2 a.m. is definitely past the cutoff. Second of all, is Stephen A. Smith, is that like the only black guy in your phone? Or like why is Stephen A. Smith the go-to person to call when, like, you're going through racist comments in the media? I guess because he knows he's going to talk about it on first take. He's like, please don't take me out. I was 12. Like, what's your take on that, G?
For me, I think, first of all, like you said, past 10 is a little rude to be calling anybody. Secondly, 2 years ago when Laramie Tunsil got in trouble, me and my good buddy Rago, we were fired up. Here we got Laramie Tunsil ripping gas masks. We got Coach Hugh Freeze, a real holy man, saying prayer. He said, we're going to pray our way through it. I was a little bit more turned off by Josh Allen's tweets. I mean, he was a punk kid. He's from Wyoming. He's probably never rode on an airplane until he went to the NFL draft. I mean, I don't really want to hear too much about what Josh Allen's got to say, but
probably never rode on an airplane.
I mean, fair to say, he played in Wyoming. They probably took Greyhound buses to play against their opposing teams, but nonetheless, he went still in the top 10. But the highlight of me from the first round was Baker Mayfield. He went first, the first overall pick. That was kind of out of left field, you could say, for the Browns. What do you think, Harry?
Loved it. I know that some people could say that Darnold is more NFL ready or whatever. Loved it. Finally, a quarterback with personality. I'm here for Baker Mayfield. Like, whether he's wearing a Trader shirt or planting a flag or grabbing his junk, hashtag Team Baker all the way. This is an interesting person at literally the least interesting position in all of sports.
Yeah. Fair enough. Baker, he had definitely some controversy. He was a hell of a leader. He balled out his senior year. This guy's a gamer. So I think the Browns, they may Of course, we've seen the jersey the Browns have with, 30, 40 guys' names on it. So TBD to see how Baker ends up working out with the Browns. But I tell you what, there were some nice...
He's not even starting, right? Because they have Tyrod Taylor. So, I mean, I feel like that's even a good person for someone like Baker Mayfield to learn behind. Another, athletic quarterback that can get it done, with the pass, but also can run really fast.
Oh, no doubt. I think, last night at the draft, there were also some nice moments. The Broncos had a kid from the Make-A-Wish Foundation. He's a huge Broncos fan. He got to make the selection of Bradley Chubb. We saw the video of Von Miller. He was fired up about that. Another touching moment, Ryan Shazier, who was injured in that Monday night game in the Steelers versus the Bengals. They said he may never walk again. He walked out on the stage with the assistance of his girlfriend. He made the Steelers selection. So, I thought there was definitely some good moments from the draft.
I want more cool stuff during the draft. I want, there were talk about picks from space, and then in a later round, the Bucs are going to be drafting from a pirate ship. I want more cool stuff. And, I had this billion-dollar idea. ESPN, Fox, you guys want ratings? Take this. Every team, all 32 teams in the first round, they all have a gimmick, right? So, maybe, the draft from the pirate ship or something else like that. And then the best pick, the best gimmick out of all the gimmicks gets pick number 33. So you get the second round, first rounder if you have the most, if you draft from space or a pirate ship, or you get an octopus to draft or a monkey or, I guess a Make-A-Wish Foundation kid. It's tough to beat.
I got a good one for you, Harry. I think the Dolphins, they should have made their selection from that office and that table that disgraced offensive line head coach Scott Forster. What do you think? You think they should have made it from Scott Forster's back office? Maybe dust the donut powder off the table and say the Dolphins select.
First of all, he took the table. His fingerprints on that table. He's not dumb. But if I'm being real, if we're going to do a real show and not just be out of left field and talk about people that use cocaine on the Dolphins, I'll talk about picks I like. I really liked Calvin Ridley. I thought he was one of the steals of the draft. He went late to Atlanta. You have basically all defenses have to double Julio Jones. To have another solid, quick, athletic receiver, I think is really going to help this offense. What about you, G? What do you like?
Oh, well, you know me. I'm going to keep it biased. You made a comment last week. I'm going to keep the Louisville homer status going. I love Jair Alexander at 18 to the Green Bay Packers. And, of course, the last pick of the first round, Heisman Trophy winner Lamar Jackson. The Ravens selected him up, so I was fired up to see my man Lamar sneak into the first round. Ironically, both Teddy Bridgewater and Lamar Jackson, last pick of the first round. Hopefully Lamar's legs do better on a drop back than Teddy's did.
The only we'll go into other news. We'll go into the NBA stuff. But the only other thing that I want to say that's really funny about the draft is when they make the pick and then they'll cut to the fan base, and then let's say they'll pick a center. Like centers Ragnow and Price were drafted 20 and 21 respectively, and they'll cut to the Cincinnati fans, and they're just like, okay, they're all just shrugging their shoulders, and they're like, I guess we need that, but it's not exciting. I wanted a skill position player. And they'll probably, longevity, and they'll go on and have a successful career, but, there's no Calvin Ridley.
Underwhelming, no doubt. Well, the NBA playoffs, it's been a big week. You see LeBron? You see LeBron's buzzer beater, Harry?
Yes, of course. There was the shots, the block, and now, of course, we have LeBron James and the goaltend.
Oh, come on, bro. Now, it was obviously a goaltend on Victor Oladipo when he took it to the cup. They called timeout with 3 seconds left. Inbound the ball to King James. Yak, game winner. So, it definitely could. The NBA, as they do oftentimes, they came back and said it should have been a goaltend. So, there always been a bit of murky water around this LeBron James game winner, but nonetheless, it was dope. What do you think?
Of course, LeBron James is going to do LeBron James stuff. And Victor Oladipo isn't going to stop him from doing LeBron James stuff. And neither is Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan or really anyone else in the East. LeBron is a lock to make it to the finals, as he always is. And the block is just another, the goaltend is just another thing that's going to lead to, the greatness of LeBron James.
No doubt. Well, you know what, Harry? I hate to bring this up, but your Miami Heat, they went down 4-1.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Because now Whiteside becomes expendable. We move him. Maybe a Justice Winslow, maybe throw in a pick. Bam, we have Kawhi Leonard. Free agency. You know who sounds nice? Miami. Yes, it does. Paul George, Dwayne Wade, Kawhi Leonard, Bam Adebayo. That's it. We don't even need a fifth.
I mean, I think we should give a little more love to Philly. We've been accused by a few of our listeners of not showing enough love to Philly. We got Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, hell, Meek Mill was at the game. I mean, Philly's where it's happening. Let's check in with our friends from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
What do you think, Harry? We got to show some more love to Harry. Speaking of this,
that of course is courtesy of Fox or Netflix or Hulu.
Yeah, whoever's got Always Sunny.
Really put that show everywhere.
We don't want to get served. Well, I want to give a special shout out to my boy Charlie Hinga. He's a weekly listener. Every week he said, he's been giving us good critiques. He's a big Philly guy. He's been upset we were not picking with the Sixers, so I figured we'd give him a big old shout out from Philly. Shout out Rocky. A big Ayo Adrian from the boys at Two Left Fielders. What up, Chuck Hinga? Hope all is well over in Santa Clara, my mans.
If you want to be a Heat fan next year after we get Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, that's totally fine. You can stop being a Philly fan at any time. Also, congratulations on having a 6'3" shooting guard as your most efficient player. That's a good move. You have two freaks of basketball on the court and J.J. Redick putting up over 20 points.
Get over it, Harry. The Heat are at home, bro. Let Philly shine a little. They won 10 games a few years ago.
And news that makes everybody else unhappy besides me. Giannis Antetokounmpo went to a restaurant after a Milwaukee win, and they made him wait, and he waited over 10 minutes and then went home. Dog, it's first of all, it's not like if J.J. Redick, perfect example, walked into a restaurant, he just looks like another like white guy. Like Giannis Antetokounmpo is 7 feet tall, and it's Milwaukee. Like y'all got a lot going on. Like who Giannis is. Like you can get this man a burrito. It was a Mexican place. You can get this man a burrito. It's no problem.
Yeah, it was a little ridiculous. You saw the pictures of Giannis waiting in line. Actually, I don't think he went home here. I read he might have actually went just down the street to another restaurant. So that Mexican restaurant...
You know what that restaurant probably did? They probably took their picture with him, put it on the wall, gave him some free burritos. Giannis is a GOAT.
Yes.
Respect the man.
No doubt. Well, in other NBA playoff news, we got this series between the Jazz and the Thunder. It's been getting testy. We got Russell Westbrook making threats against Ricky Rubio to shut that bleep off. We got Donovan Mitchell out there balling out. Game 5, it looked like the Jazz were going to close them out, but Russell Westbrook had a fierce third quarter. But I will say the most interesting thing I saw was previously Game 4. Russell Westbrook got 4 fouls in the first half. Mitt Romney, none other than Mitt Romney, was there on the court throwing up the fours. He had on his dress shirt with the jersey over it, taunting Russell Westbrook. So
does anyone look more likely to wear the dress shirt with the jersey over it than Mitt Romney?
No, I don't think so. I think that's
maybe Harbaugh.
Maybe Harbaugh. I think that's definitely a rivalry to look for in the future. Mitt Romney versus Russell Westbrook. But I guess moving away a bit now from the NBA, I did see something, Harry, that had me a bit alarmed. Fisher's ex-wife is going to marry Matt. Who is it? Fisher's going to marry Matt Barnes' ex-wife.
Fisher is going to marry Matt Barnes' ex-wife.
Yes, that's what I mean. What was it? What did Kanye say?
Man, I'm about to drive 90 miles, say Mark Burns. I'm about to drive 90 miles, say Matt Barnes.
We all know the famous feud between...
You cut that off awfully abruptly. Is there not more to that song? I think that was a good song. I'd like to enjoy. That's courtesy of Tidal, by the way. I think I'd like to enjoy that. I think our listeners would really like the next maybe 2 or 3 words of that song. What do you think about that, G?
I had to cut it off, Harry. I didn't want to get served by the FCC. We're already in jeopardy of being sued across the board for all these clips we play every week, but... I figured we give it a shout out. That situation started. It got a lot of press. Matt Barnes drove angrily over to his ex-wife's house to see where she was, with Derek Fisher. I know there's been a lot that's gone on. They got in a car accident. That was pretty bad. It was Matt Barnes' car. I mean, now they're getting married, so I can't imagine our boy Matt Barnes is too excited about that. What do you think, Harry?
No, it's funny, man. It really is, because the whole thing started because they were teammates, and you don't do that to your teammate.
No,
you don't do that. You go west like Delonte.
Oh, come on, bro. LeBron's stepdad.
Oh man. All right, and I get this bit now, right? I bring up hockey and you end the show, so I'm not going to bring up hockey.
Then what do you want to talk about?
I dropped the song this week. You could listen to the song on SoundCloud. You could also see the music video on YouTube.
Oh,
here.
come on, Harry. We're getting a little far out in the left field. We got you trying to drop your music videos now.
You can see it on
come
Facebook,
on. Enough,
Twitter,
Harry. Enough. You can
available
come on.
all on the internet, anywhere you can find me.
You can subscribe to our page on YouTube or follow us on Twitter at 2LeftFielders.
I'll put it there too.
Yeah, all right, Harry. We'll drop your video soundbite. Until next time, everybody.